State regulators have now identified more than 80 farms and more than 500 residential properties that have been contaminated by forever chemicals as part of a long-term investigation. Now, a number of affected farms have adapted. They've switched to, in some cases, new crops, installing solar panels, or exploring other industries to stay viable.
A new study is set to provide essential information to farmers regarding the risk of exposure to dust while tilling soil. News Center Maine's Vivian Lee has the details in this report.
It's been more than 3 years since Adam Nordell was forced to shut down a thriving operation that produced organic vegetables and grain. Since losing Songbird Farm to contamination caused by years of spreading PFAS-laced municipal sludge as fertilizer, he has immersed himself into policy advocacy, working for the nonprofit Defender Health. He and his family, though, have high levels of the chemicals in their blood. Among the worries about the long-term health impacts include exposure to contaminated dust from years of tilling and plowing.
But not only am I breathing that as I drive back and forth on the tractor, but off it goes on the wind current across the landscape, across any number of property boundaries.
Adam expressed his concerns about dust exposure to scientists who are exploring different ways to repurpose contaminated farmland in Maine while minimizing environmental and human exposure. Caleb Goosen is a PhD and crop production and conservation specialist with the Maine Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association. He recently received a grant from the Maine PFAS Fund. This grant is aimed at understanding how soil particles contaminated with forever chemicals can become airborne.
I'm hoping this helps us better understand personal exposure risk for anybody that's working on a farm and or near a contaminated farm.
Researchers will till the soil and collect samples from contaminated farmland in the Unity area, determining soil type and texture and examining how they interact. The scientists, though, are not attempting to measure how much dust is transported from site to site. The goal of this new data is to better inform affected farmers who are transitioning to new crops and other industries while trying to keep the contaminated soil intact.
How much disturbance is related to the new commodity? How much disturbance maybe does it take for a one-time transition, similar to if they did a one-time transition to solar panels or something like that?
It's critical that we understand any occupational exposure pathways and make sure we're giving farmers good advice.
The study is expected to begin next month and could also provide valuable insights for farmers in other states dealing with PFAS contamination. Vivian Lee, News Center, Maine.
The sampling is expected to take place over the summer. The data is expected to be made public possibly a year from now.